guys, so today I wanted to hop on and answer a question that one of you guys gave me, and that question is if you have a slap injury, which is basically a ligament injury to your shoulder, what are some things to stay away from? What are some things you can do? And this person specifically asked what to stay away from, so I'll cover that first, and then I'll give you some things that you can do afterwards. Rowing is great to do, usually doesn't cause too much pain, sometimes when you're in that full end range of motion with it, but rowing only works shoulder muscles on a certain area, so you really want to keep things balanced and do some things that are in a different area around the shoulder to really help that stability if your ligament isn't really able to help with that anymore. So that's what I'm going to go over in this video. If that resonates with you, cool, keep listening. My name is Amanda Painter. I'm a physical therapist, and I'm the rowing doc, and that's what I'm going to cover today. So first, I'm going to start with what might you be feeling? Everybody's a little bit different circumstances. You might have some achiness, some dullness, some sharpness. Usually it's deep inside that shoulder joint, but not always. And essentially what happens when you have a slap injury is the ligament isn't doing its job to really hold things that hold your shoulder in a good position anymore. So your muscles have to work on overtime to really help you out. So with that being said, what happens is your shoulder gets weaker, unfortunately, and you have less strength. Usually you have a little bit less range of motion, and things like that. So basic starting, the key is you really want to get as much range of motion as you possibly can out of it. Make it comfortable. The things you want to stay away from, and this will depend on everybody based on what they're trying to get back to, but some things that you want to stay away from is if that pain climbs up to like a 6, 7 out of 10, 0 out of 10 is no pain, 10 out of 10 is send me to the hospital. If that starts climbing up, you kind of want to back off a little bit. You might be bothering it more or pushing the muscles a little bit more than they want to do. So I'd stay away from that. That usually happens in these motions back here, extreme end range, like external rotation or extension behind us, and overhead motions. So just keep that in mind. There are things you can do to strengthen, to help with those things, and I'll go over those in a little bit, but basically that's the kind of stuff that you want to stay away from. If sleeping is causing discomfort, one of the things you can do is sleep on the good side, hug a pillow. Hugging a pillow makes a huge difference. Puts your shoulder in a more happy neutral position and gives it a little bit of support, but depending on when you got the injury, you might already know that kind of stuff. But just wanted to throw that out there. So like I said before, rowing is great for it, but you really want to work to keep other muscles strong as well. So one of the things you can do is either with a band system, like I'm going to demonstrate, as the person I know that I'm doing this for has bands. You can also do things with weights. So I'll go over bands. If you want weights, go ahead and let me know. You can also look them up and find them pretty easy. But first is going to be rowing is a lot of this motion. So make sure you're not popping your elbows out into this type of position when you're pulling up to the finish. When you're pulling, you want to try not to be up here or funky like this. That's going to put more stress on that shoulder. So really concentrate on the form first. After that, because we're doing this, we're working, it's like doing a row workout. So you're really pretty much getting these muscles back here, but we kind of forget about these guys. And because it's a forward and backward motion, we're not getting any of our rotational stabilizers. When I go to reach for something, I actually have to rotate my arm. If I'm not working those stabilizer muscles, pretty much I'm setting my shoulder up to be a little bit more angry or unhappy at me. So first thing I'm going to go over is rotation. This will depend on how much movement and range of motion you actually have. So one exercise I like better than the other, but the simple one is pretty much you can take your bands and you stick them in the door, or for me, I've got a system here. And basically what you're going to do is step out so there's some resistance on here, and you're going to pull that band in and let it gently pull you out, pull in. So it's going to get one rotation, and then you actually want to go the other way, so I'm going to switch arms. So I'm going to have it here, shoulders nice and tight, stomach tight, shoulders back and down, and I'm going to pull out and gently back in. You can put something here as well if you're pretty skinny and your shoulders, your elbows going far in, then I'd recommend putting a little towel or something here, but you're just going to pull out and in. You could try different amounts. You pretty much want to go till you feel like you're either getting pain and then I want you to stop. Or if you feel like you're doing it and you're getting to that fatigue level, or if your form starts to get compromised, then go ahead and stop there. That's pretty much what you want to do with these. But that's called an external rotation. One that you can do that's a little bit nicer is a motion that brings in a lot of different motion. So it's not as isolated, but it's more like what you do in your day. So you take your band and you're going to put it low. And again, you can put this in the bottom of your door actually. And then what you're going to do is holding on to the band, you're going to start low, and ideally you want a little bit of tension, but this one's pretty heavy for me, so I'm going to have a little bit of looseness. You're going to start close to where you're, like I'm reaching into my opposite pocket, and then I'm going to pull up and across. So what that does is it's like I'm pulling a sword out almost, but I'm getting rotation, I'm getting motion, I'm getting extension, I'm getting abduction, and I'm going up and out. So you're going in and out. And you can do this in other directions too, but that's a pretty good one to get those back shoulder muscles and the side shoulder muscles. So then we also need to work on the front. So to get the front one, I'm just going to use this without handles. Actually, I don't know how it's going to work without handles. Never mind. So I'm going to put this back kind of in that middle position. And we're going to do the opposite motion that we're doing when we row on the rowing machine. So what we're going to do, and you can do this with weights lying on your back, just pushing up towards the ceiling, but I'm going to step out. Doesn't matter which foot you put in front of you, so do what's comfortable for you, and then stomach tight, don't arch your back. I'm going to push out. From here, I want you to push a little bit extra, and then you're going to pull back. Push out, and make sure to get that extra push at the end, and then in, out, in. This is going to work that front part. So then you're really getting that stabilization all around the shoulder, since that ligament isn't there to really help too much with it. So those are some things that I recommend for strength-wise that you can do off the rowing machine to really help out. But if you're just doing rowing, you're not going to get all the components to really help your shoulder. And your shoulder might get more irritated as you do things down the line, especially if it's an old injury. Another thing you can do to work on the range of motion is you can do it laying down, or you can do it on a wall. Basically take your fingers and you're gonna let your fingers climb yourself up the wall. So I'm gonna do it on this little bar. And I'm gonna let my fingers do all the climbing. So my arm's completely relaxed. It's a little hard on a bar, it's easier on a wall. And you wanna try and get as far as you can. And then if you get pain, go ahead and back off a little bit. Stop right before that pain, hold for 3 seconds, and then come back down. Do that 5 to 10 times. Sometimes if you push into the pain, that has a tendency to aggravate the shoulder though, so do that one with caution. But those are some things you can do to work on the range of motion, keep the strength up around your shoulder if you've got a slap injury, or if you just got a shoulder injury and you're rowing a lot. These are great ones to do to work the other muscles around your shoulder. I hope that helps. If you've got questions, please feel free to ask. My name is Amanda Painter, and I'm always here to help answer any questions you might have.